June 14th, 2016 is a little bit less than 5 months away. This will mark the 3-year anniversary since The Last of Us has released for PS3. I did a huge video on the 1-year anniversary of The Last of Us, talking about pretty much how the game has impacted me and my review of the game as a whole. I talked about how much I love The Last of Us, how realistic the gameplay is, the combat, and the character development, and how the story has really impacted me and kind of changed my look on life and gaming in general. So this is almost 2 years later, and I've got to say my love for this game has only grown. I thought that after a while I would get tired of The Last of Us when I first heard about it. I watched the trailer online, the release trailer, and it looked amazing. But at the same time, it just kind of looked like another zombie game. And I'm not too into single-player games because I prefer to play online with my friends. Because I've grown up on more like Call of Duty type things. It was about about 6 months later, I was at Black Friday, and they had a deal where The Last of Us was like $15. And I remembered about the game, and I remembered watching the trailer about 6 months ago. Before that, and I remembered how interesting the game looked, but I completely forgotten about it. So I picked it up, and my friend also picked up a copy and got his own PlayStation 3 that day. And I pretty much played the game non-stop for the next 8 months, and then that's when I came out with my video on the 1-year anniversary, talking about pretty much my experience over the last 8 months with The Last of Us and what I thought about it. So last January, so a little bit over a year ago, I got the PS4 Last of Us Remastered bundle. Now, I had already gotten all the DLC for PS3. I'd already bought Left Behind. I've already bought the Reclaimed and Abandoned Territories multiplayer map packs, and I'd already gotten pretty much all the DLC for PS3. I'd already bought it all, but the Last of Us Left Behind version comes with the DLC, which is a reason why a lot of people bought it, was because it comes with all the free DLC they didn't feel like buying for PS3. So that wasn't really a deciding factor for me for why I bought the game. It was really more because I had heard that the graphics were like way far improved. And I kind of wanted to see this for myself, because back when I did my review of The Last of Us, I mentioned how it's probably graphically the best game I'd seen so far on PS3. The only games that really came close back in the day were like the Uncharted series, which were made by the same people as The Last of Us. So I remember saying how beautiful I thought The Last of Us was. Now, when I got The Last of Us Remastered and I started playing it on PS3 or PS4, it had been almost a year since I played any video games because I'd gone away to the Navy and everything. No, it had been about 9 or 10 months. So I had been out of the loop for so long, I didn't even remember what video games looked like. So I started up The Last of Us Remastered, and in my head I was thinking about how The Last of Us used to look. I went right into campaign, and it started right away with the scene of Joel's daughter up in her bedroom. And instantly it was like night and day. I was amazed, because the graphics in The Last of Us Remastered are easily twice as good as they were in the PS3 version. And I'm not saying that just because it's PS4. I'm saying that because from someone that's played The Last of Us over and over again and put many hours into it, I can honestly tell you that side by side, The Last of Us Remastered is crazy big upgrade graphically. And the sound too. The sound's a lot more improved too. And so I went ahead and started playing through the campaign. I haven't beaten it yet, actually, because I got sidetracked. Well, I didn't get sidetracked, but I got stationed somewhere else where I didn't have my PS4 with me. And I haven't gotten around to doing it since I've been here. But I'm very close to finishing. But it made my playthrough of the campaign so much more enjoyable than the PS3 version, because the graphics are just amazing. Like every part of the game, whether you're underground in the dark in a sewer, or whether you're at one of those thematic points up on a rooftop looking at the giraffes, it's all just beautiful. Like it's such a change, and which was amazing for me because The Last of Us was already a game that I was in love with. So now to have another version that's even graphically better was crazy. And it really, I'm really happy that I bought it. I'm really happy with it. But also, something I never really touched on in my original video. My original Last of Us video was all about the campaign and the storyline and the characters and how that impacted me and kind of changed my mind on things and how much of an amazing single-player experience I thought it was. Now, if you talk to a lot of people that have The Last of Us, they'll say the multiplayer is trash or the multiplayer isn't fun or it's boring or something like that. And that's because most of those people come from Call of Duty, where it's a huge change. Call of Duty is so much more fast-paced and all about score streaks and stuff. The Last of Us multiplayer is perfect because it matches like the gameplay style of the single player. Like it's a lot like single player, except you're playing against other people. So there's a couple of game modes that you can play, and usually it's 4 versus 4. I think it's always 4 versus 4 actually. The main game mode that I usually play is called Supply Run, which is where each team has 20 lives, and once you bring all their 20 lives down, then they all respawn one more time for sudden death, and once all 4 of them die on sudden death, then the living team wins. So it's really, really fun, and it's kind of a mix because half the time you have to be super stealthy, but the other time you can just kind of run out and run and gun, and if you have your friends with you, you might be able to win. But if you guys have played The Last of Us and you've used listen mode in campaign, when you use listen mode, you can see enemies no matter where they are, because unless they stop walking. But the enemies in campaign are either always making noise because they're infected, or they're always walking around because the bandits and stuff are always patrolling. But if you're online, people could be hiding behind like a box or something and they're not moving, so they won't appear on your listen mode at all. So you need to be really careful when you're playing online, and I found that it's so much easier if you have a group of like 4 friends and you've all got mics, because it's one of those kind of games that really requires teamwork and strategy. If you're all playing your own program, unless you're all really good, you really don't have much of a chance of winning. It really requires teamwork. So if you like just doing your own thing and gunning people down and killing enemy after enemy after enemy, then I would say stick with Call of Duty. But if you're at all interested in like strategic team-based gameplay, like really intense, suspenseful, but it's still multiplayer, pretty much just like the campaign, then I would say definitely check out The Last of Us, because the multiplayer is amazing. And I just wanted to talk about that real quick because no one ever mentions it. They only ever mention the single player because that's obviously what the game's main focus was. But the multiplayer is really, really good. So I just wanted to throw that out there. And also, I might be doing a review video on Left Behind if you guys want. I know at this point pretty much everyone's played it or has seen videos of it, but I would still like to do an analysis / review video, much like I did with the normal storyline, just to kind of show my view on everything and what I think about the story. So that will take a lot of work to make, just like my Last of Us video did. So I'm really only going to make it if I have a decent amount of people that want to see it. So if you guys are interested in that at all, in that Left Behind review and analysis video, a lot like my Last of Us one, then please leave a comment on this video and I will start making that. It'll be the PS4 version I'll be doing, but it's the same story, it's just graphically it's way better. So overall, guys, I know this video was me kind of just talking about The Last of Us in general, but I want to stress overall, The Last of Us Remastered is heads and shoulders above The Last of Us PS3 version. I've actually gone back to the PS3 version recently to try to complete some of my online trophies, and it is crazy, the graphic difference. Like playing on PS3, even though it was The Last of Us, which was graphically my favorite game, I felt like I was playing something from 20 years ago. Like it's such a big difference. It's a lot like if you guys have played GTA 5 on last gen and then on next gen, and I'm sure if you switch over, like if you play it on PS3 and switch over that day to PS4, you would have noticed how massive of a difference there is on GTA. It's the same thing for Last of Us. It's just crazy how much they've upgraded it, and I don't think enough people have really talked about it and gotten people to buy it, because if you guys liked it on the PS3, you definitely need to get it on the PS4. Alright guys, that's all I got for you today. I'll catch you guys in the next video. Alright.